So here at Two Rivers, we're working on the Century project. Picked it up a few months back down in Jupiter. Boat was a wreck when I got it. So we got the boat in, stripped the boat down, all wiring, everything came out, and started doing the rehab on it as far as getting like the rust stains and stuff like that out of the boat.
I wanted to take sort of a common hull that you could go out and get anywhere, that any person out there could go and get. We put a bit of money into it and a little bit of creativity and come out with a really cool custom boat that would probably cost less than some of the other cheap production boats out there.
Now we're at the stage where the boat needs to be rigged with a new motor and electronics and power poles. We're going to toss it to the guys in the back.
So with every project we take on, you always want to focus on a certain part first. If you try and start working on the whole boat at once, you're going to get way too overwhelmed. So on this Century, we first started at the transom. That was the main focus, and we worked our way through the boat once we got the transom done. After we mounted the jack plate, the power poles, the engine, everything else, all the rigging follows that. So all that stuff has to happen first.
We're taking off the 25-plus-year-old rub rail, and we're going to put on that new taco rub rail that we ordered. Also, we're going to put on the new trolling motor because Dale insists on going out fishing in the boat, and we have to be able to utilize every aspect of the boat.
So Dale's got me installing this brand new 36-volt min-coated trolling motor on the Century project. Once you find the placement of the trolling motor where you want it and you know it's going to deploy and everything, it's the head of the trolling motor inside the boat railing, so when you pull up to docks and stuff like that, you don't hit the trolling motor and all that. When you're happy, you lay the template out, go ahead and drill your holes, get it mounted, and we used a quick release bracket on that, which is nice. You can remove the trolling motor whenever you want.
This boat we decided to do a wrap on. With everything we got going on in the shop, the CV project with paint and everything like that, we didn't have the turnaround time to be able to do that. We got Gil from Gil Media to come out and give us a hand getting the boat wrapped. In order to do a wrap, one, you have to strip all the wax off the boat. You got to get all the edges clean. And then when you're installing it, is I usually peel the whole sheet, stick it on the side of the boat, and work from the center and work your way out. It's a real easy way of changing the color of a boat at like 1/8 of the cost.
So once we got the boat wrapped, we could focus our attention to the rub rail. So we started at one end, just got everything lined up where we wanted it, and started working our way around the boat carefully, making sure everything's straight. You don't want to have waves in the rub rail, or be careful, you don't want to tighten your screws too tight, and you'll see it as it goes down the rub rail if you crank them down too tight. So we just wanted to be real careful, make sure we got everything real nice.
We're getting to the stages where, we're looking at the non-skid and you can still see some of the blems and stuff like that in it from before. We chose SeaDek because, one, it makes the boat look newer, it's softer to walk on, it's a lot more comfortable when you're out in the boat, and it looks cleaner. It's cleaner than every other thing out there, and we just didn't want to put non-skid back in the boat.
So once we started getting some of the big things done on the boat, we started focusing on some of the smaller stuff that really defines a boat. So we wanted a dive ladder on the boat, so we put an Armstrong dive ladder on there. And I put it on the starboard transom right there. Nice, clean fit. Everything fit, lined up with the power poles, no interference. Everything was perfect.
We're getting down to the final details of the Century project. We're looking at installing some new Nav Lights. So we reached out to Taco and got the Taco flush mount rub rail lights.
We had to relocate the lights when we did the trolling motors. We covered up the old nav light. Before you drill any of the holes, make sure that you are able to see the lights when you're running down the bow of the boat. Once I found center and I was happy with the placement of the lights, each one was perpendicular with each other, from the front of the boat, so you could see. We went ahead and drilled the holes, made sure fitment was perfect before we sealed everything, and then ended up putting the nice chrome cap on it, which once you tighten everything down, it gives it a real nice, flush, clean look.
One of the things that we had to get done on the Century was I needed to put a new windscreen on it. Dave Singer from Rocky Point came forward. He knocked it out of the park when it came to the quality and the finish on my windscreen. The boat is looking absolutely amazing. Just a few details that need to be taken care of, and we're going to back this boat down the ramp and see how she rips.